Welcome into the CHGO White Sox podcast. On today's show, we'll be talking about the great starts from Hagen Smith and Noah Schultz in yesterday's spring training game. We will update you on the injuries to Colson, Montgomery, and Andrew Benintendi that happened today. James Fegan has done some great reporting about the White Sox pitching and defense that we'll talk about. And then finally, I taste whatever this is from Kyle Teal. Welcome into the CHGO White Sox podcast, coming to you live from Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, being produced today by my pal, Joey Christopoulos. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. We got two broadcasts coming up later on today. The Bulls have a show. The Blackhawks have a show. Plus, we have the Bear Show at the NFL Combine. We have a ton of Chicago sports coverage for you here on the CHGO Sports YouTube channel, so make sure that you are subscribing. The Bulls have a normal show. They also have a Discord event after their show, so make sure you're hitting that QR code and becoming a diehard today. And then there's a Blackhawks pre and post. So if you are looking for coverage, we got you covered here on CHGO. What's up, Ryan, in the chat? Again, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. We're talking about Colson Montgomery. We're talking Noah Schultz. We're talking Hagen Smith. We're talking Andrew Benintendi. We're going to be talking framing, arm angles, and then also Kyle Teal had an interview where he said some weird things, and I'm going to put some weird things in my mouth. A weird combination of things. Not like, anyways. We're going to start with Colson, because that's the most probably pressing news, the news that I think would make everyone sick. Woohoo, Noah Schultz and Hagen Smith, but just tell me the bad news. I'm a Chicago White Sox fan. The White Sox tweeted out earlier today that Colson Montgomery was scratched for precautionary reasons with back spasms. He is day-to-day. Tristan Gray took his spot in the lineup. And then during the game, in his first at-bat, Andrew Benintendi was hit by a pitch on his right hand. So he left the game, was to be evaluated. No current news yet. I just think about when he was a New York Yankee, and he also got hit, I think it was in Tampa, and I believe it was his right hand where he broke his hamate bone. Hopefully that's not the case this time, but it is his bottom hand, so when he's holding a bat, because he's a lefty, the one that's touching the knob. Also, obviously, since he's a lefty, his glove hand. So there you go. That's Body 101 for you. I think you shouldn't panic, because first of all, it's precautionary methods. Colson has had back issues before, so if he's just feeling weird, oh well. Noah Schultz apparently had the cold, and he pitched through yesterday, but that was because it was his spring training debut. He's on a very certain schedule. Colson Montgomery has hit a home run. He's played shortstop already. I think he's played in 3 games total. Maybe he just didn't want to push it if he felt anything. It's spring training, and there's a long season ahead. I don't want to panic. However, there could be a silver lining to this. I don't know if I'm sold on him being the shortstop. And the way that Sox Machine put it on their podcast, as I was listening 2 days ago, Colson Montgomery is basically, it's his job to lose. The DFA Jake Amaya already, and he's back. So I don't think there's a real scream. Oh, God. A real scream for him. I just saw Ryan updating us on Benintendi. We'll get to that in a second. Let me get through my Jake Amaya thoughts first. Jake Amaya doesn't seem like he's really getting, a true stamp of approval from the front office after being DFA'd. You also have Chase Mydroth, who's more of a second baseman. I wouldn't even say a third baseman or shortstop. So I don't know if he's going to be there. And then Brooks Baldwin, do you want that to be your everyday shortstop? I'm not sure. It seems like Colson was practically being given the job. If he is running into back issues, I also don't know if you should be sending him into AAA and then not seeing him at all at a major league level. Back is just so severe and scary and frightening that I'm worried, because that was the reason why Keith Law had him off his top 100 was that he didn't believe Colson was a shortstop and that back issues are just lingering for life. I'm so thankful that even though I have terrible posture, my back hasn't started to hurt. I'm 28. Joey's pointing to himself. How old are you, sir?
I'm 41.
I don't think your mic's on. You should turn that on. That would make sense. And then tell people that you're 41.
Bring it up. I thought it didn't matter in Studio B, but it does matter. It always matters.
Some sort of level of the volume. It's a messed up board. But anyways, you're 41. What hurts? All of it? How long has it hurt?
Sciatica when I was 28. Ooh. And now it's all just lower back maintenance for the rest of my life. Hips, hamstrings, all the good stuff.
Very fun. So hopefully that's not Colson's sake. But also, when you grow long, that's when you start getting issues. I'm short and stout, okay? There's nothing really pulling me at any... I'm really close to the ground. Colson, I worry about you tall people. You get up to 6'4", and that back, just any... can just set you back. So I'm concerned that it's holding him out. I wish he was a vibrant 22-year-old, 23-year-old where it seemed like he had a rubber body, but it doesn't seem like that's the case, at least with him being scratched for precautionary methods. Let's get to what Ryan said in the chat. Andrew Benintendi was hit in the first at-bat of his spring training game today, and he is now out for 4 to 6 weeks with a hand fracture. Hey, Joey, there's a White Sox thing there. Just play any of the bumps. You know what? There's some Hawks one. Yeah. I think that's more in celebration, but yeah, adios, Andrew Benintendi for 4 to 6 weeks. Woohoo. Play a different one. There's some good Hawks ones. Scroll down a little bit. Come on.
Let's scroll down.
Yeah, just pick one. Pick. There you go.
What is it? You can put it safe. You can put it on the board or what?
All right. Displacement of fracture of his right hand is what it is, Hawk Harrelson. I was a little bit excited because I was like, if he misses time, then you could go pick up Stone Garrett. BZ from Sox on Tap has been on the Stone Garrett pickup train, and finally the Nationals today DFA'd Stone Garrett. I think Garrett could be a really good designated hitter. Michael A. Taylor can man left field. You can have Tauchman and Slater in right field. You can have, obviously, Luis Robert Jr. in center field. So Benintendi being out isn't the biggest worry. It's just the right hand has already been an issue for him. And we saw what he was in 2023 when he was coming off that broken hand. We already saw what he was in the early half of 2024 because he was dealing with Achilles issues, because he was still dealing with that hand issue. I'm just concerned about this guy's ability to bounce back. So if it was something more like, he's out 2 to 3 weeks with a bruised hand or something like that, and it's more precautionary, he's just going to miss spring training time, that's fine with me. He's a veteran. I trust Andrew Benintendi to at least properly get prepared for a season. But another hand fracture or non-displaced fracture, is that good or bad? Joey, do you know? Are you a doctor?
Placed or non-displaced? I don't think it's
good.
What's
the difference? It doesn't sound good.
Not
the fracture good. Is the big word.
And he's going to hit, he was going to hit 3, 4, 5 in the lineup, in theory? Or 2?
Yeah, I guess it was looking like Tauchman was the leadoff hitter, and then you would have had Luis Robert Jr., Vaughn, Benintendi.
Yeah.
But he seemed like he was more comfortable at 5th or 6th last year. So anyways, we won't see him. You could go with Stone Garrett. I'm seeing Husky Bardo, our guy, throw out Alex Verdugo. They're just not going to spend that type of money. Outright. You could have gone and signed freaking my guy from the Phillies last year, Jeff Hoffman, to be a reliever, but they're going for the NRI minor league invite in Mike Clevenger because he's cheaper. I don't think they're looking to spend any more money on this team. That's why I don't think you're going to see them eating money for a Luis Robert Jr. trade. That's why I don't think you're going to see them eating money on an Andrew Benintendi trade. So not good news for the Chicago White Sox with Colson Montgomery and with Andrew Benintendi. Looking at the 13 that will be on the opening day roster, I think it will be Vaughn and Gallo at first base, Josh Rojas at second base, Vargas at third base, Lee as your starting catcher, Robert as your starting center fielder, Tauchman your starting right fielder, Taylor your starting left fielder, Gallo coming off the bench. I think I mentioned him earlier, though, at first base. Tice on the bench as your backup catcher, and then I would throw in Drury, Sosa, and Amaya being your starting shortstop. But maybe they go out and get Stone Garrett. Maybe they go out and shore up left field with a little bit more of a guy that can play every single day. I just think they're going to ride with it. I don't think that they're going to be too worried over Andrew Benintendi because, again, what were you truly expecting from him? I wasn't expecting second half Andrew Benintendi. It was a nice surprise, but I'm going to expect the year and a half that we saw from him rather than the back half. So not good news. Also, with that puts that lineup, at least the 13. Brooks Baldwin is then in AAA. Colson Montgomery's in AAA. Brian Ramos in AAA. Chase Mydroth in AAA. I think that is your infield. If Colson is dealing with this back stuff, then Baldwin would be your starting shortstop. Maybe they don't want that at all, though. Baldwin ends up in major leagues, and you see the cutting of Sosa or Drury. But, I don't know. It's still convoluted. We're not getting so much clarity after 6 spring training games already. Ryan in the chat saying, Sean, time to suit up. You're playing left field for the Sox. Not everyone. That sounds ridiculous. There have been times where I have been compared to look like a White Sox pitcher. Joey, if you had to guess which White Sox players, I guess I gave away the positions, but
pitcher. I think Lucas Giolito.
Okay, one was Lucas Giolito. We got the Luke Giolito bobblehead over here as he's dressed up as a TIE fighter or X-wing fighter. My bad. The dorks will be mad. And then I also got compared to Dylan Cease. But I think that was more of a Vinny thing. Because, Dylan's turning demonic. I think that's more of a Vinny thing because of the mustache. But when Dylan has his beard grown out.
I was going to say.
When Dylan really has his unkempt beard, maybe I look more like Dylan.
He is a restless facial hair guy. He cannot land on one thing. It's either mustache one year or it's beard or he hasn't done clean shaven in a while. And I'm wondering if Fu Manchu may be in his future, but he seems to always try and mix it up.
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever he wants to throw out there. But I feel like I'm more Andrew Benintendi, if anything. I'm
really?
small. Yeah, I'm 5'8". I mean, I guess he doesn't have that beard, but truly stature wise, I mean, Dylan's 6 feet tall. Lucas is 6'5".
Lucas is a big
I feel
guy.
like somebody could if I was clean shaven, I feel like somebody might be able to mistake me for Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah,
He's
possibly.
tiny. I am tiny.
You should try it with a hand cast.
Maybe I should
walk around the south side a little bit and see what happens.
Go around in a full White Sox uniform, being like, "Hey,
see if you can get past security. See if you can."
I will do that because then I'll go to prison. Anyways, to avoid jail time, we won't do that. And Ryan says Steve Stone. I don't know about that one.
Okay.
I don't know about that one. Is that? Are you calling me old? Are you saying that I look like 1980s Steve Stone? And then he also had a freak mustache as well.
You don't look like you play 72 holes of golf a day, and that's very much the tan of Steve Stone.
That man must have a ton of blisters. 72
I mean,
holes.
look, if you look at his skin, it looks like the Arizona crisp gets him on the back nine.
Yeah, I can't tan. All right, this is probably a good point to take a break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. We'll talk about framing, arm angles, Noah Schultz, Hagen Smith, and Kyle Teal. All next after this break. We want to let you know about our friends over at Ray Chevrolet. Auto show deals are going on now at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. That means the latest vehicles you've been looking for are now priced with huge auto show savings, like $11,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models, or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. And as one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they'll be able to keep their prices competitive, so you'll know you'll get a great deal. Plus, Ray's Price Promise lets you shop confidently because a guarantee of no add-ons, no hidden fees, and no gimmicks means the price you see is the price you pay. You don't have to worry about price changing, stressful negotiation, or any tricks. So go see for yourself. Visit our partner this February at their convenient location on Route 12 in Fox Lake. And don't miss out on their auto show sales event going on all month long. Be the star of the show and take $11,000 off MSRP today by shopping Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Cornbread Hemp. If you're stressed out about this White Sox season, if you're stressed out about their poor play, go check out our friends over at Cornbread Hemp. They are America's first ever USDA organic THC gummies. Their mission at Cornbread is to improve your quality of life with the highest quality of hemp. Some days, winding down feels impossible. I know that when I get home at 11 p.m. after a White Sox postgame that frustrated me because I knew when I walked into work, they were going to lose. And when the game was over, I was hit with a soul-crushing loss. And then for an hour, I had to talk about the White Sox losing. It's nice to take a gummy. It's nice to relax that mind. It's nice to have dreams of Hagen Smith and Noah Schultz both simultaneously lifting up a World Series like Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling. Maybe Hagen Smith doesn't go down the same route of Curt Schilling, but now we're getting away from the cornbread hemp ad. Are you tired of hangovers and looking for an alternative to alcohol? Cornbread hemp makes THC gummies that help you enjoy the fun without guilt or regrets. And again, they are America's only USDA organic THC gummy made with real THC and organic ingredients, no synthetics at all, and it's 100% legal, and it ships right to your door. Right now, as a special offer for CHGO listeners, you can get 30% off your first order. Just visit cornbreadhemp.com/CHGO and use promo code CHGO at checkout. Again, that's cornbreadhemp.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for 30% off your first order. Cheers to a healthier, happy hour. Back here on the CHGO White Sox podcast, what's up to Riffic and Antoine, who are joining us in the chat. Antoine says he's usually listening next morning at work, but it's nice to hop in halfway and catch this live. Antoine, what do you do? If you're at work, what you listening to? What are you doing? You stocking shelves? Let me know. Hit me up. Maybe, I don't know. Louis says, sounds like a lot of Slater, if no Benintendi. Maybe. I think that they have some flexibility with Taylor and Tauchman and Slater because Slater and Taylor can be right-handed bats. So if you're facing a lefty, you can just load up on right-handed bats. Tauchman obviously will be in anytime they play a lefty. The one thing is that their bench doesn't have a ton of flexibility, so maybe that's where they go Baldwin. Baldwin isn't a lefty. Let me double check that. I'm not as confident with Brooks as I should be, just because he had that injury. No, yeah, he's a switch hitter. So, maybe they use Brooks in like a left field situation to get a left-handed bat. And I believe Stone Garrett is also a righty. So, if anything, I would say they add a left-handed bat that could possibly play the outfield. That wouldn't be Stone Garrett. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see a decent amount of Slater regardless. I mean, anytime there's a left-handed hitter or a left-handed pitcher up, you are absolutely going to see Austin Slater in there. Antoine says, I'm a shop detailer, porter, wash cars, and sweep a shop for 8 hours a day. That sounds like you need a podcast to get you through the day. So we are happy that we can do that for you, our guy Antoine. I also need to wash my car. That's just a good reminder. Now this isn't payola. Now I'm not being like, oh, hey, Antoine, yeah, I know a guy. No, I'll go pay for it myself. But I need to wash my car anyways. No Colas. He's gone, I guess. What happened to that? Riffic. Joey, do your job. Produce me. What happened to Colas? You guys can't say anything weird like that. What's going on? Is Colas gone? I don't know.
Where's he going?
I don't know. I'm trying to look it up. This is great content. Okay. Anyways, possibly Colas if they want to try out his left-handed bat, and they could just move on with him. I mean, if he doesn't work out at the major league level on opening day, you could just immediately move on from him. You've seen everything for him. If you want to give him that one last chance, go ahead and give him that one last chance. But I don't see that. And also, what he was last talked about moving to first base, so I'm not sure. Sayonara,
just
Oscar
a lot of
Colas.
videos of him taking a baseball off the face right now.
He's just trying to set records for. Gotcha. He's playing right now, and he made an error. The classic Oscar Colas experience. So he's just not very good, says Jacob Ramey. Appreciate the update there. Let's get back on track and let's get to the show. Let's go with a little bit more news that made me queasy before we get to the good stuff, and then I'll get to the snack that's going to make me queasy. James Fegan does great work over at Sox Machine. They had a podcast I posted 2 days ago, and then James has been posting some articles up at their site because he's a beat writer. Likely thing for him to do. But one thing that he was focusing on with one of his articles was that the Sox don't have a lot of swing and miss pitchers, that they're going to be using arm angles and trying to induce poor contact to get their outs when they need 27 outs in a game. Very similar to what the Rays have been looking for. James brought up the great former Fox graphic that was all of the bullpen arms and their arm angles for the Rays. I think I brought it up when Brian Bannister was first brought up and we had the actual clock graphics. I'll try to bring that back soon. But the idea being you're throwing off hitters, You're trying to not get them into a rhythm because you have a guy that's at a 45-degree angle. Then you have a right-handed pitcher that's at a 22-degree angle. Then you have a lefty that throws over the top. So you're just switching the constant spot that ball is being delivered for, and that they really can't build comfortability against not only one guy or one type of guy. They really have to continually get comfortable. I mean, that's why you saw Tim Hill get a flyer, was because the White Sox really liked the fact that he was so low to the ground, and the Yankees end up making that work. So it wasn't like a bad truffle to sniff after in the forest, truffle pig. It was just not well executed or executed well enough. So it does seem like a continuation of what Brian Bannister has done, but this White Sox defense might be horrendous. Hey, Oscar Colas is apparently bobbling balls in the outfield, and apparently with Andrew Benintendi being out 4 to 6 weeks, Oscar Colas might be needing to put in some outfield work on the major league level. So that could be some difficulties there in left field. I hope they go with Taylor mostly, because Taylor's decent, and the outfield defense shouldn't be too much of a concern. Robert has things covered down in center field. Taylor has things covered down in left field. Talkman and Slater are both solid to average, probably more average, both of them in right field. So outfield defense should be okay, but Colson Montgomery is your starting shortstop, and Miguel Vargas is your starting third baseman. That is going to be a nightmare for any ball hit to the left side of the infield, left side perspective from the hitter. If a righty's pulling a ball to third base and shortstop, if a lefty's hitting one to third base and shortstop, that's going to be an experience, because Colson isn't fast enough at a major league level to be a shortstop with range, and Miguel Vargas has now added on 20 pounds and seems extremely slow. I mean, there was a ball hit at him that he couldn't even get to. So I'm just concerned that if this team is not getting those strikeouts and taking out the randomness of balls being put in play, this could look more like 2024 than I thought. The first base defense is bad with Andrew Vaughn. Josh Vargas is okay at second base. Amaya, if he's there, he's okay, and that's the best that they have. Anything else is below average at shortstop, and third base is just flat out bad. The Sox are hoping that framing could hopefully get them out of certain innings and certain moments. They're bringing in Walker McKinven to improve their catching, not only for Corey Lee, Caro, and Teal, but for the two veterans that they brought in. Narvaez had a lot of success under McKinven in Milwaukee from 2021 to 2023, and Tice has been okay, and he's a decent enough bat where his framing's been poor enough that if you get a good enough coach, especially from an Angels organization that is just all around terrible, you might be able to see a bump there from Tice. So James talked about the, lack of swing and miss needs to be aided by these catchers. And there was some bemoaning on X by saying, here are the Sox again, behind the curve. But that's what Chris Getz was all about, was catching them up to the curve. And yes, this curve might be curving even more down the future, because we're seeing the automated balls and strike system, the ABS system, being thrown into spring training this year. And there's only a certain amount of challenges. But we talked about the idea of robot umps being here in 5 years. If robot umps are here in 5 years, then framing might not matter. However, you can't just go the next 5 years not framing at all. So at least they caught up to the curve at some point, and shame on Rick Hahn, and shame on Kenny Williams for not realizing how important framing was, of all things, in baseball. And they kind of did. They wanted to throw money at it. I mean, that sums it up. They wanted to fix their framing. So rather than getting people who could teach framing, getting people who could, find those minor edges, they spent $90 million. No, they wouldn't spend $90 million. They spent $70 million, $72 million on Yasmani Grandal, because they thought if they threw money at the guy that could do it, they would do it. But the guy that could do it was Walker McKinven, who was in Milwaukee, who taught Grandal everything. You should have just paid the guy less money rather than giving Grandal. Whatever. So, yeah, I think that's kind of the Chris Getz MO summed up. They're trying to get teachers to teach the cheap players that they're signing to be better, which is a fair thing, because once you get, fingers crossed, the Ishbias in town, you can have the surrounding players, the support people, be better and be better than the expectations. And then those stars can make those true differences, like we thought Luis Robert Jr., Eloy Jimenez, Yoan Moncada, yada, 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 should have done. Also, on the swing and miss thing, this kind of goes to the Clevenger signing. I know I wasn't going to bring it up, but it just sparked something because Baroa was the big swing and miss guy. He's got a grade 1 elbow strain. The talk is that they think Clevenger can probably ramp up his velocity to 98, 97 consistently, and that his slider would see a bump as well. His slider has always been decent as a starter. He might be able to get swing and miss, so that's, I think, the thought on Clevenger there. But you see how cheap they are. They're going after Clevenger, who nobody wants. There's going to be no competition. They know it's going to be a minor league deal. We're not going to even look to you to be in this typical starting aspect. We're going to be pushing you to the bullpen, trying to lessen that deal as much as possible when you could just go out and get a Jeff Hoffman. And I understand Hoffman has injury issues, but Clevenger has 2. And Hoffman's still out there, and I think he probably would be around $5 million. Like, you spent that money on John Brabia last year. I don't understand why you couldn't do that on somebody that's just a little bit more solid for a team that doesn't have any solid arms. Like, their solid arm was Justin Anderson and Prelander Baroa. And Anderson is out here in his first spring training giving up like 8 earned runs, and Baroa is now hurt. So, I don't know. I'm a little queasy about this team. The first 5 spring training games that are all losses, making me queasy. Karinchak's now in against his old team. It's 4-2. Seems like he escaped it. So, oh no, Heasley's in. 4-2 in the top of the 8th. They did give up a run in the 7th, so we'll see. And Karinchak also, a guy that I think they were looking to get swings and misses. He's been terrible. 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 K today, an ERA of 9. He doesn't seem to have his velocity back. So that's a guy that a funky arm angle, possible swing and miss. Seems like they might have swung and miss, no pun intended, on that signing, but we will see. Good news. Finally, let's get to Hagen Smith. Let's get to Noah Schultz. Schultz and Hagen, as Louis says, top rotation for 5 years. Wait. Oh, Schultz and Hagen will be at the top of the rotation for the next 5 years starting. Absolutely. There was that concerning quote from James Fegan's piece that Brian Bannister said that, you know, when we get guys like Cease and Crochet, we have to make sure that their development is quick enough so that they're giving us pretty much the best 4 years because we know we can't keep them. So how long will Smith and Schultz be here? I won't talk about that because it will probably make me sad, but we'll talk about how good they are. Both were fantastic in their outings yesterday. Schultz did allow a base runner on a walk, but he was able to pitch around that, get a double play, and it was great to watch his dad, Larry Schultz, be interviewed by Brooke Fletcher, and while the double play is unfolding, him being like, yeah, you know, Noah was telling me earlier that he's got a cold. That's a ball hit to shortstop, and that's going to be a double play. It's like, all right, love to see the dad get up for our guy, Noah Schultz. But yeah, he got let off a single to his first hitter, got the double play, and then got a fly out. The biggest thing that stuck out to me with Schultz, 0 swing and misses. It's a little concerning. We'll get into why that's concerning in a second, but then Hagen comes in the next inning, and he was fantastic. Forrest Wall singled to left, but it wasn't like a great single. It was kind of a bloop that got down. Oh, well. Wall's able to get to second base on a throwing error by Wilfred Veras, and then Wall steals third. But then he goes up against Leo DeVries, who is a top prospect for the Padres, I think top 50 in all of baseball. He struck him out swinging. Then old friend Gavin Sheets walked, so there's runners on first and third. But then Ethan Salas, top 100 prospect, struck out swinging, and Connor Joe, kind of a bum, struck out swinging. But 3 Ks for Hagen, 4 swings and miss for Hagen. He was fantastic. We'll go to their stats in just a second. But with Schultz's swing and miss, Schultz at Double-A last year, 11.4 whiff percentage. Just for context, Crochet at the major league level, 16.2. So 5% difference there, and two levels of league difference between there. Davis Martin, a guy that isn't like a dominant whiff guy like Crochet, 12.1%. So still better than Schultz, and even Cannon, a little worse than Schultz, but it's at the major league level, 9.1%. Will Schultz have that big swing and miss factor? I've compared him to Randy Johnson because of the size, but I don't know if you guys remember this. The big thing about Randy Johnson was nobody could hit him. He was striking out 300 people in like 4 straight years. Those runs from 2001 to 2004 were insane with the Diamondbacks. I don't know if he's going to get that, but also that took, you know, Randy Johnson a long while to get to that point. At that point, he's like 40 years old when he's doing that with the Arizona Diamondbacks. It seems like Schultz is figuring out what his fastball shapes are. So if you want to flash it now, our guy, Joey, he's throwing a sinker, a cutter, a slider, and a changeup. So it seems like he's abandoned the four-seam fastball to get two fastballs that move in opposing directions, right? A four-seam fastball, if you look at that pitch break, it's going to be closer to the middle, or not middle, but where those fastballs are. They're going to kind of go, straight, where a cutter is going to come, into a righty away from a lefty. That sinker off of Noah is going to go into a lefty away from a righty. They want the ability for either the wrong guess and just to swing through it, or they want, if you are going to make contact, weak contact off the barrel. I'm a little bit concerned about Schultz's maybe top end. It seems like he'll be very good at working around stuff, but he might just being like a weak contact pitcher rather than a swing and miss guy, which, you want that swing and miss to be a dominant ace. And I don't know if Noah's going to be a dominant ace. He might have a couple of innings where it's bloop single. White Sox defense can't bail him out, and it's a pass ball, and he doesn't even actually let up any hard contact, and he's, allows a run just because nobody can play defense on this team. With Hagen, though, Brian Bannister has compared him to Carlos Rodon, and boy, do I see it flash at Joey. Four-seam fastball and sliders galore. Mercy. What you can look at is that TJ Stuff graphic, and it says 102 for his four-seam fastball, 100 is average, slider 101 for Hagen Smith. I was kind of surprised that the grades, if you're on the 20 to 80 scouting grade, it's like a 58 for Hagen's four-seam and then a 46 for Hagen's slider. I thought that he would at least have those pitches be two above average, and especially with the whiffs that he was getting, I really did think that it would be a better grade. So I'm surprised the grades weren't a little bit better, but the results were a lot better, and he just seems very tight, compact, and it's very repeatable. And we know with Noah, those long levers, it's tough to be repeatable. So I think Hagen is at least taking the leaderboard after one spring training game, so I won't overreact. But Hagen Smith is the ace, and Noah Schultz is going to suck. Joking. But Jacob saying people talk about Schultz being the top ace, but watch Hagen as he appears to be the better prospect. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and you hit that thumbs up button. We're going to go to one final thing. Kyle Teal was asked some questions on the CHSN broadcast. He was asked, what is his favorite karaoke song? He said Tequila, the song from Sandlot by the Champs. He also said his most used emoji was the face with the sunglasses emoji. Joey, what's yours?
Eyeballs. I just recently learned about the Red Siren from you.
Oh, okay. Red Siren's good. I really like the in jest the smile face with the hands. I usually use that when I'm pissed off about something. But then Kyle says in that final one, "What's your favorite snack? What's your weird favorite snack?" Or did you just say, "Yeah, most interesting food combination"? Pickle sunflower seeds and Skittles.
Oh God!
So we got big dill pickle sunflower seeds here in the studio. And then somebody in the Discord said that he didn't say Skittles, like the classic red bag. He said sour Skittles. So, in fairness, I will try both. I didn't think about this. I don't know where I'm going to spit my seeds. So I guess I'm just going to be sucking on sunflower seeds.
As a producer, I will hold out my hand and you will spit them into my hand.
No. All right, so we're going to get a good handful. And Joey, feel free to come over and try these if you want to. You don't have to.
I don't want to now.
Yeah, come on. Who cares? All right, so we're going to go Skittles and a decent amount of handful of sunflower seeds. Joey's going to try it as well. Here. Yeah, get your dill pickle ones. All right, we're going to pop this. Well, first of all, it's terrible to do on air. But also, I can't chew the Skittle.
Which one is which? Which one are we chewing here?
No, this is weird.
Each bite is like a little surprise.
Yeah, this is terrible. Tastes like cleaning solution.
Imagine a hot dog with sugar on it. A Skittles hot dog. Because of the dill pickle vibe.
This kid might be stupid. Oh, you're bad. All right. Did Kyle Teal not watch Salt, Fat, Acid, and Heat? I mean, come on. Those are the 4 things you need in cooking. All right. I can't do this any longer. I'm not even. I got to try the sour Skittles. Oh, God. All right. Mercy. Okay, we're going to do this one. Pee Wee Herman did a dance to Tequila. I never watched that show. You're old enough for that. Mm-hmm. You're 41.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also, that song's very famous in Sandlot.
Well, it's Sandlot. Yeah, that's what I've seen. All right, I'm going to try the sour one time. Okay. We're going to end the show. This is the worst idea ever. They got to stop letting me host solo. They really need to rethink the shape of the show, the structure of the show, and the freedom that I have as a host, because this is a terrible idea. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to go get sick in a waste bin. Goodbye.
We all feeling like the mayor.